And we are back.
We are back, bumblebees.
Saturday. Thank you, everybody who's here already. 217 people waiting on us to get live.
Feels so weird to be in here on a Saturday.
It's weird to have that many people just hanging out on a Saturday.
How many did you say?
217 already.
Holy shit. Thank you, guys.
Yep. So we are, excuse me. We are going to be doing a couple of Q&As today. We'll be doing a couple of reaction videos. We might possibly be doing an email, but we have some housekeeping that I would like to do first.
Okay.
For everyone that is currently in the chat, if you are not a member of our Patreon or Discord community, please press the number 2 so that I know like the ratio of people that are watching that are not a part of that community. And then I'll come back to that. We are going to be doing a meet and greet in Arizona in March for our Patreon community. So for those of you who really wanted to be a part of the last meet and greet that couldn't, know that that's the way that you get into those things. We have so much going on.
We have a lot going on. We're getting a lot of twos on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, TikTok needs to come to YouTube because what we're going to be doing is only valid for YouTube. Okay. So there's a lot of you. All right, so we're going to do some reaction videos first, knowing that there's that many of you currently watching that are not part of the Discord or the Patreon community. When you join our Patreon, you get exclusive content like your garden segments, vlogs when we post them, life account shit, early release episodes, and then you also get Patreon live streams where we do Zoom calls, things like that.
Right.
We are going to be doing today only. Well, today and probably tomorrow night. If you send a super chat at $25 or more, we will get with you to get an email from you so that we can add you to our Discord server for 1 month. We cannot give away patron subscriptions. Patreon doesn't let you do that, but we can add you to the Discord server for a 30-day span. So for the entire month of February, and then you will get access to everything because all of those links get posted in the Discord for partner sharing. So as we get to the Q&A segment of everything, if you guys are sending super chats, hit that $25 super, and we will figure out a way to get your email, and then, or you can even put it in super if that's what if you're okay with that. And then we can add you to it, so that way you guys have a month to see what it is, because we do have a very big community over there, and there's a lot of value in it. Mm-hmm. And I think that if you're going to be sending super chats to have your questions read and answered on a live stream, might as well give you a little bit of extra incentive to do it and some value beyond just us answering your question. And in the event that your question does not have enough detail, we'd be able to answer it on tomorrow night's live stream after we get more detail from you in the Discord channel. So pretty cool. I thought it was a great idea.
I think it's a good idea.
Thought it was a good idea. 348 people. So
wow.
I have to find something that I read in Discord. So let's start there. I also would like to start this off because we posted something with Meg today. She was Recover Your Power. She's now Meg Talks on TikTok or Meg Talk. It may not have the S.
I'm going to be honest. You want me to look?
I think it does on Instagram, but not on TikTok. Either way, we've had 3 episodes of The Garden released with her this week. Yes. Over the last 3 weeks. And tomorrow night during our live stream, she will be here in studio. Mm-hmm. So she will be with us while we're reading emails live tomorrow night, and she'll be a part of all of that. So that's a thing. The last video that we posted of hers on our TikTok page, there was questions about, there were statements made where her ex, who was an actual narcissist, not just a buzzword, would not allow her to wash other men's hair as part of her profession. If she was going to get a massage, it couldn't be a guy. Like, that was a thing. So somebody asked us how we felt about it, and of course I had to make a fucking video about it. But I would like to know your opinion. If you are in a relationship, is it okay for your person to have a massage or a professional service done by the opposite sex? Yes or no? So we'll get that question while I look for this, because there was a good one. It was a good one. I just have to find it. I screenshotted it, but it'd be a whole lot easier to read it from a screen than from my phone. Should keep the people entertained, woman.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I went foraging this morning, guys.
And all you found was a bug.
No, I brought in some mushroom and this really cool tiny pine cone looking thing I have to look up. The mushroom is not edible, but
No.
I can study it and look at it because there's different types of shapes and gills and all of those kinds of things.
Okay.
I did find a really big bug this morning. This beetle-looking guy. It was cool.
So everybody is saying, yeah, somebody says it's sexist to say no because why not? So this comes down to, guys, if you're sending super chats, we will be answering them in segments instead of interrupting unless it's $50 or more, just so we know. Just so you guys know. When it comes to the opposite sex thing, there's a control factor there. And I believe that it is control for the want of abuse, right? Because when I hire somebody to do a job, I want them to do the best job. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to hire somebody based off of their non-qualifications, like their gender. Like that doesn't make sense to me. If I need my brain surgery done, I'm not going to go, well, I need to do it because my wife's going to get jealous if it's a woman.
Well, there are some people out there who will go out of the way to find the most attractive opposite gendered person to do a service for them.
Right. Well, that's a very different conversation. If that's the kind of person you have, why would you be in a relationship like that?
I just brought that up because people will say that.
Yeah. I don't know. But then again, they're hiring somebody for the wrong attributes.
Right.
I don't want somebody who can barely do a job. Like I want the best, especially if I'm paying a massage therapist $100 to $150 an hour. Mm-hmm. Deep tissue work can sometimes go into $200 or $300 an hour. I don't want somebody to foo-foo massage me. I want to fucking hurt for days after that. You know what I mean? And I want to be able to feel normal again for 3 or 4 days before I mess my body back up.
Yeah, you said that, and I thought about that deep tissue massage I had to get on my quads after leg day.
Yeah.
It almost had me crying.
I have actually had massage therapists make me cry.
Yeah,
I've had them release stress and trauma from the past, and like I have broke down sobbing. Like I was 11. You know, like it's bad.
Oh, I need
it's
something
so
like
bad.
that.
So bad. Chris looks tan. That's because Chris spent all day yesterday fucking with his bikes.
Yeah, in the heat.
But my Suron will now do at least 61 miles an hour. And I know it'll do at least 61 because that's where I had to start hitting my brakes.
I know, and you weren't doing it with a helmet on.
Oh, no, I was in shorts and a t-shirt. Yeah. Yep.
There was one point when I was laying on the couch, I was like, if he kills himself, he kills himself. It's
At 60 miles an hour, I'll live that.
Maybe.
No, I'll live that. I've gone down faster than that.
Yeah, it just takes your head hitting the pavement one certain way.
I've been hitting it a lot. I might not be the same afterwards, but I'm pretty sure I'll survive it. I have confidence in my hardness. It's there. All right.
I want to laugh because it is funny, but I don't want you to think that I'm not being serious about things right now.
I can tell by your squint that you're serious.
Perfect.
But laugh it out, babe.
Okay.
Have at it. All right. So one of our Discord members wrote, okay, I have a question geared more towards the guys in here. So gentlemen, listen. My husband can tell my overall mood has been down lately. I swear I have seasonal affective disorder. I mentioned wanting to start working harder to lose weight. I've lost 20 pounds since March, but have stalled. So he's been making sure that I have time to work out in the evening, which means he has been handling entertaining the kids, etc., while I work out and shower. Last night, he sent me out to go tanning since I mentioned I really needed some sunshine. I feel guilty because he's allowing me to do this all the time and to work on myself, but aside from him waking up early to play his game, he doesn't do anything for himself. But when I offered to give him time, he tells me there's nothing he wants to do. My question is, do I take that at face value, or do I try to make him take time for something? He works full time as a mental health tech for the state of Illinois and is working on an online bachelor's program in some kind of IT field, cybersecurity or something, I think. Sorry, this is long, and thanks for the help. What do you think about that, babe? Because I will let you be as selfish as you want for your self-care.
Right. I would take it at face value.
Yeah?
I don't know. I also don't know who this person is. If they feel like they are unimportant and they are saying like, no, I don't need to do anything for myself, and it's a depression thing, that's a problem.
Okay. So then what would you, okay, so let's branch off that, because I am going to read the chat. I want to see what the guys in here have to say, because this was towards the guys of our Discord, but I want to know if it is a depressive thing, what is something that she should be looking for that to be, obviously you don't know this guy and his depressive symptoms, you don't know. So if it was me, what would you be looking for? I guess that's probably a more fair question.
Like I'm sleuthing right now and I'm trying to figure out the best course of action. What am I looking for? Or do you mean like...
If you should take it at face value, or if it's me just being depressive saying I don't...
Well, I just ask you. No, because sometimes when you're depressed, you'll deny it. And I'm like, no, you need to go take a shower, babe. And you're like, no, you're right. Okay, so I pay attention to your behaviors. If you are agitated, you complain.
Yeah, I'm a complainer.
Right. So I know you're going through it. And that's one of those moments where, I don't know, we also have the understanding, like when I am being like loving you firmly, we have that understanding of you're not being a dick right now. You're just looking out for my best interest.
Right.
Like, don't take this personally. Even though I want to be angry, I can't be angry because they love me. So I do ask you, well, I'll pay attention to behaviors and then I'll love you firmly. And then we have like a little back and forth on whether or not you're right. I'm really going through it right now. I need some loving and attention. And then maybe I might go ride my bike for 45 minutes. Or me bringing that to your attention kind of rooted you in reality. And it's helping you process things a little bit better. And you won't have to go do that self-care thing.
Okay. So that's the depressive answer.
Kind of, yeah,
Okay.
I guess. Did all of that make sense?
It did. There's a
Okay.
lot. So there's a lot to this.
Right, there is.
Which is why I wanted to bring up on the podcast, because this is actually discussion. This is not a simple answer. And it's going to be a very elongated answer. And I think that people will find value in it, but I'm going to read some of the comments first. Darth Cinderin, the homie, said, most guys will tell you exactly how they feel if they can do that with you generally. It depends on the woman. That's factual because you train us on how to engage with you.
Right.
Kelsey Smith said, from Mr. Smith, take it at face value, but continue to reinforce that if he wants time for himself, you are ready and willing to provide that. Shelby said, what if him doing the school stuff is what he is doing for himself? I don't know if I heard the question right, but that is a thought that came to mind. And in some cases, I do believe that is the case.
Like me doing all of my herbalism stuff right now. Like
It's
I
self-care.
spent 2 hours today studying books and making notes and walking around outside. And even though that's work, that is definitely my self-care time.
Yeah. Desclan said, no, when you wake up on the days he's waking up early, just support him. Be there for him. That's what he wants. And if he's making sure that you've got time, that is his love language. That's kind of the answer that I was looking for.
Yeah.
Lewis says, as a man that games, I'd take it at face value. I take great pleasure in my game time, right? Because you get to, that's your escapism. And that, people are gonna get real offended that I said that word. It is escapism.
It is.
And
When
as
I read
long
a
as
book,
it's
it is
healthy,
escapism.
it's not a problem.
Right.
Okay.
Wait, before we keep moving on, can I buy Skyrim tonight?
Yeah. We still have to figure out if we're going to do the Discord zombies. I made notes of that the last time we were here and forgot to take my notebook home,
Discord zombies.
where we start playing Call of Duty and create a Discord channel where our members can play zombies with
yeah.
us. I don't know if you can buy a server for Call of Duty like you used to be able to do for Battlefield, but
Oh, I wouldn't have any of that information.
Joanna said he is clearly wanting her to have time. If he's not making snide comments or being upset for no reason, then he is getting enough self-care time and just wants to make sure that she gets what she needs. Aloha Snack Bar said nonverbal communication. Is he playful? Does he seem happy? Does he seem overwhelmed? Lots of good answers here, guys.
Yeah. I want to elaborate. Can you scroll back up?
To where?
Stop right there. So if he's not making snide comments or being upset for no reason, then he's getting enough self-care time. So that can certainly be an indicator, but I wouldn't let that be the only measurement you're basing it off of.
Okay.
I just wanted to throw that out there. Like if you're only looking for someone to react when they're feeling some sort of way that's not positive, to be snide or snarky, not everybody is that way. A lot of people internalize things.
Right. Kinsey said, how do I join Discord? Well, ironically enough, I'm happy you asked, because today, if you send a super chat for $25 or more, you will get access for the month of February to our Discord server. Otherwise, it is only through our Patreon content, and you have to join at a $15 or $20 tier. But if you guys are going to be sending super chats today anyway, send that little bit extra. We'll get you in there, get you early content, garden episodes, and our Patreon live streams that we do once a week, where we also do Zoom calls. Looking for another guy answer. A lot of women answers. Let's see. People are now super pumped that you're talking about Skyrim. People are happy over zombies. Okay, so let's real quick. This situation comes down to knowing. I hate that I'm about to say this. Happy wife, happy life. Right? I know. There's bile in my mouth just from saying it. It's happy spouse, happy house.
Yeah.
But let's be honest. We know that women control the intimacy in a relationship. When your cup is full and you're not run down and you're not tired, you are going to be more playful. There's going to be a whole lot more sexy time, right? Like our life becomes infinitely better because you guys are happy. You're full, you're self-care, you got a hobby, like you're doing your thing, going to the gym, not to mention what it's doing for your physical appearance. Like this is a fucking win for your old man, right? Because I'm willing to bet that you're feeling better. You probably got DOMs from the gym. Like you probably got aches and pains from the gym. I get that. Yeah. But like you feel physically better. You're getting endorphin releases. Now you're talking about tanning, so you're getting artificial sunlight. Like your body is going through like a good change right now. So if he's doing all of these things and all he wants is that little bit of game time, he's winning all the way around. He gets his game time. He's got a happy woman who's getting back in shape. He's taking care of herself, wants to smile more. Like pretty soon you're going to start eating healthier. That's going to trickle down to the family. Like this is a fucking win for him. So unless he's a bitter Betty, negative Nancy.
I like bitter Betty. Yeah. Did you just make that up?
I was looking for negative Nancy and that's what came out. So I don't know if that's a phrase or not, but unless he's one of those people who just doesn't want to see anyone ever accomplish something, right? Because there are crabs in a bucket out there. Let's be completely truthful. There are men out there who don't want to see their women do well. Right. But if you've got a good man and he sees that you're taking care of yourself, his life is going to get better. Man, if you realize that your woman is smiling more and she's fucking glowing in the house and playful again and like you're getting booty again, like this is a good thing. Yeah. I don't see this as a loss in any way, shape, or form. I do think that the answer to the question though is she should hit him with, is there anything that I can do for you? Hey, I know you're studying right now. You want me to order dinner? Would you like me to get you a drink? Would you like a glass of whiskey? Like what can I do while you're doing this before I go to the gym? Write something just to offer it. Chances are the answer is going to be no, I got it. Don't worry about it. Go to the gym. But why not just like, this is the relationship building all over again. We're no longer in a roommate phase, working together as a team. Dad is present with the children way more than he was before. It's benefiting your fucking kids. This is a win. Like I don't see a single scenario in this entire question where there is a bad thing.
I wanted to branch off of that conversation a little bit and just kind of remind people, like when you've been in a rut for a while and you start doing new things to make you feel good and better, you start looking at the people you love to see how they can start improving their life because you want them to feel as good as you feel.
Yep.
If he is happy and content in life right now and it's the same thing he's been doing, he might not have been going through the same shit you've been going through.
Right. Yep. Check and see if your person's cheerleading for you. If they're cheerleading, I mean, that's a big deal. Melissa said her change of mood may literally be enough. I don't think maybe. I think it is. When you have your hard days, and I can tell that you're going through it, I try to support you the best that I can. But when the next day comes and you wake up and I can tell you woke up on the right side of the bed, like I'm gonna have a good day, right? Like, and I know I'm going to have a good day because your head's not in the same place that it was yesterday. Right. It's a win for me. So.
Are those more days than not where I have good days? Yeah.
I mean, we're both pretty good about checking the depressiveness.
Yeah.
When we're having, dude, this podcast has been a godsend, right? Because we know how to explain things to each other in ways that we never would have before.
Right.
Because my explanation of a bad day is I'm dealing with my demons. That's always been my phrase because I didn't know how to explain what I was going through. I have a whole fucking chart of different faces at a hospital now in my brain where I'm like, how am I feeling this one? Hey, it's this.
Yeah.
And I can just explain to you what's going on because I now understand things that I never would have understood until we've done the research that we had to do to be able to have these conversations. So it's helping us as much as it's helping the people listening to us, which is wild.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Mark Elliott R is in the chat and he said, small niceties are great gifts for your partner. Helping with dishes, allowing your partner to vent about the day, that sort of stuff, I think. Isn't it? I mean, isn't that's it, right? I love that shit.
When you go out of your way to be like, hey, like you did record time today to get all those chores done, be like, oh my God, he noticed.
Yeah.
It is really nice just to be acknowledged.
Gratitude. Yeah. Gratitude goes so far, right? Because we're expected to do these things one way or another. It's our job. I have to be a dad or a mom. I have to go to work to pay bills.
Yeah.
If I don't do these dishes or do this laundry, it's not going to get done, right? So having somebody go, hey, I really appreciate that you hung my shirts up. We've been married for 10 years and I've never once run out of underwear. Thank you for that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's small recognition. It does go a really long way.
This is kind of off topic. So I've noticed that you've increased your socks and underwear. Do you feel like I'm not doing laundry frequently enough, or is that just adding to your
I
collection?
threw away.
Okay.
I went through and because I'm like a man's man when it comes to my underwear and sock. I will
Right.
wear that shit with holes in it because I like them. Right? They're my favorite dirty underwear. No, but so I went through. I think in November I went through and I had like 6 new pairs of underwears, and that's when we got the hollow socks. And I threw away all of my other socks and all of my old underwears and bought all new everything.
Okay.
So that's why you're seeing all the new.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
No, I remember them coming in and whatnot. I just want to make sure that that wasn't like I'm not doing laundry frequently enough, so you're having back stock, like adapting.
No, that's not a case. Sierra
Okay, fantastic.
Jordan said, I would love to pick your guys' brain on an extension of this topic via email because mine's a long explanation. Well, we're going to be live for at least an hour, maybe 2. So if you send it right now, maybe we can read it. Kinsey said, I have to go through my husband's boxers and socks. I mean, that's pretty common for a wife to have to do those kind of things. Great Wolf Tactical, shout out to Dakota. That's my buddy right there. He said, put your hand on his thigh, give him a kiss, and let him know you are there for him. Just knowing you have a teammate makes a huge difference. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Looks like the bot's not working either. That's
how
not fun.
unfortunate.
All right. You want to do a couple of reaction videos real quick?
Yes.
All right, we're headphones.
Okay.
This guy's name is Darwin. He's I actually really like his content. I'm surprised he's only got 40,000 followers on TikTok. The hell is that? People in the parking lot, I guess?
Yeah, I don't see anybody though. They might be standing out that way.
Okay. You ready?
Yes.
You gotta eliminate distraction. Fellas, if you struggle with being faithful to your partner, pursue the women who have the ability to eliminate distractions. Distractions are what make men cheat, lie, and betray. Women who have the ability to eliminate distractions brings physical attraction and sexual satisfaction into the relationships. Stop dating women who don't bring both to the table.
All right, let's talk about that for a minute. Monitor. Boom. What do you think about that, babe? He got a lot of hate for that on that video.
So there was a lot said in that video. There was a lot said. First thing I'm going to touch on what?
You want me to run it back?
No.
Okay.
I was able to read it. The first thing I want to touch on is him saying that stop dating women who don't have both. Or whatever it was.
That don't do both.
That don't do both.
Right.
Yeah, don't use men and women. Do not use people as bookmarks.
Right. Because that's what it comes down to.
That really does boil down to it. You are picking somebody who's filling your void right now in this moment. You're not thinking long term. You're not thinking in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. I think there is a lot of damage done to American society. And a lot of us are dating with armor on.
Oh, yeah.
There's ulterior motives. They've been burned so many times. I'm just going to start burning everybody else because no one gives a fuck anymore.
Right.
It's terrible.
So, I mean, but that speaks on the lack of courting phase. And, and the, you know, if you're wearing your armor in a relationship, it's because you didn't set a foundation, right? You didn't really give yourself enough time to truly learn your person. Because otherwise that armor wouldn't be there with them. When you make friends, you don't just take your armor off so they can stab you in the back. They have to earn the ability to be there when you don your armor. Like, I don't know what that is. Zach just sent me a message. So the reason that I wanted to play that is because he did get a lot of hate. People are like, you know, once a cheater, always a cheater, and they make those comments. We've talked a lot in the past on this podcast about a catalyst, and it can be really small things, but everyone has at least one pivotal point in their life where like they had a moment of realization where they were like, okay, what I'm doing is not working and I have to grow and be better to like level. Right. And we all, I think that people have that frequently. And you can normally pinpoint like the really big ones. We talked about this with Ricky with the Warriors Way mindset when he was here. But if you have done the courting phase and you were really into your person and you were a cheater in the past, and you get that person that really checks those boxes for you, you are going to approach that relationship in a different way, right? Especially if they've earned your trust. You're not going to be there with your armor on.
Right.
So you are going to be vulnerable, right? Because you took your armor off. That's actually a great way to properly use the word vulnerable because you're at a point where you could actually get hurt. And if that comes with a trust thing, why would you put somebody that you've just met in a position to trust them like that? You know what I mean? Like you do need to build that time frame.
I also agree with, what was it? The distractions conversation.
What do you mean?
When a woman does everything for her man, like there will be no other distractions because he's fulfilled within the relationship.
Right. Well, okay, yeah, and that's true, but that doesn't necessarily mean just like, that means like she checks all the boxes for him.
Right.
That's important because it's not a bookmark. Like, you know, you're going to wife somebody like that.
Right. If you get with someone based off of looks and in 2 to 3 years you find out that they're a terrible cook and have no interest in keeping the house and you want to be with somebody who does that, all of a sudden all these homemaking women are going to become a distraction.
Yep.
Yep.
Daryl Brantley said, a true soulmate is a once-in-a-lifetime person. Work through your shit together as a team. I don't think that that's true.
Elaborate.
I want to, right? The romantic in me wants to believe in soulmates. I think that we need different things from different people in different seasons of our lives. And there are going to be times that you love somebody unconditionally and they're the best thing ever. And then that could fall apart because you guys grow separately. Or there's a misunderstanding, right? Because love is unconditional, but being with somebody has conditions. So to think about that and that aspect, to think that somebody could have been in love with somebody in their 20s and lost them because they were ignorant, because most people in their 20s are fucking 40 and I still don't, you know, my brain still ain't there. I just don't think that's the case. I think that, I mean, this is a me thing. It really is a me thing, but I think that God's not going to put something in your life that you're not able to maintain.
Right.
Right. So I don't know. That was a lot. It was a lot. And Zach didn't. Oh, he did message me back. What was that?
He said, never mind.
Oh, okay.
Do you have another video?
I do. And it's another one from him. Let's see. Hey, that's weird. Spacebar does that.
Can a man hit a woman in self-defense?
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, we'll come back to that because that was a very quick answer.
A man will defend himself from the attack of a dog, a bear, or lion. And it doesn't matter if the animal is male or female. If a man is attacked by a human, why would it matter if the human is male, female, cisgender, transgender, or any other gender?
I fucking love that dude. So I actually emailed him or reached out to him because we follow each other, and I asked him if he would be on the podcast. And I was like, if he ever comes to Florida, and he's like, I can make that happen this year.
Okay.
So I would absolutely love to have him on. I am one of those people who am a very firm believer on a first date. Like when you first start talking to somebody, that should be a statement that's made. I am not a violent man. I can be. I'm capable of it if you are, because not all men are capable of violence. But I will never put my hands on you in a violent manner if you never do the same to me. Like, we need to establish that early on. I have too many friends who have been fucking hurt by women, stabbed, cut, whatever, to know that just because you may be smaller than I am doesn't mean that you can't inflict great physical harm on my body. So I saw that and I was like, damn, he fucking put that on the internet.
He did.
He gets a shit ton of hate.
Of course he does.
Yeah.
Did you see that TikTok of the woman on the plane? I guess that she just slapped a man. Oh no, they were arguing about her phone. She thought that he stole her phone. And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about, this and that. And she slaps him. And he's just standing. He was like, you really just do that? Do you really just do that? And she was like, you have my phone. You need to give me my phone back. And he was like, apologize. And she was like, for what? And he was like, apologize. And they had this little back and forth, and he slapped the shit out of her because like, so you're not going to apologize? And she was like, no, I don't think I have to. And he slapped the shit out of her, yeah.
How did that work out for him?
I don't know. The TikTok ended with him going, that's what you get. Yeah.
I mean, it is. It's true.
It is. If you are willing to put your hands on somebody else in a violent manner, you need to be prepared to be matched with that same energy.
Right.
Just like all other things in life, all other things in life.
Do you think that women are given a false sense of security because they believe that most men will not reciprocate violence against them?
A false sense of security because of that?
Mm-hmm. Because I'm far more likely to be hit by a woman than I am by a guy.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yes. I'm going to say yes to that. I've never thought of it as a false sense of security. But yeah, there are a lot of brazen women out there who will put their hands on a man purely because they think that they won't hit back.
It's crazy to think about it.
It is.
Your phone's making noise.
Is it my phone?
It might be mine. All right, I have one more. I think I have one more. Where's the button? I'm almost positive that I made this on a TikTok too, but
When you're listening to a man and he pauses, count to 30, and he'll likely keep going. If you interrupt him, you'll never hear what he truly has to say. I started practicing it, and I would just shut the fuck up sometimes, and it would be like, whoa, the things that like men would share with me. And I was like, have I been missing out on listening, like really hearing men?
all right. So
Was that it?
yeah, there's a little bit more to
Okay.
it, but it's pointless. You know how I know she's lying?
Why?
Because women don't shut the fuck up. She's full of shit. I'm just
I was about to say, but it works. Like,
I couldn't resist. We know that this works.
Right.
This is used by interrogation tactics.
yeah.
In business interviews.
Yeah, people get uncomfortable in silence, so they'll just keep talking.
Right.
Yeah.
Your parents did this to you as a kid.
Yeah, especially when you're lying.
Yeah. What happened
You're
at school
guilty.
today? Nothing. And they just stare at you. Oh, well, you know, there was that thing at lunch. Oh, yeah? I already know what happened. You need to tell me everything. Right?
Right.
You just told on yourself. that is a power move. And the fact that that's just now being understood because of TikTok blows my fucking mind. That is basic communication 101.
Yes, it is.
There's also a reality there that it takes longer for us to process things because we don't want to have meaningless conversations, right? So if you ask me a question and I don't know the answer, I'm going to sit there for a minute
Right.
and try to really figure out what it is that I need to say, because if it's not like a back and forth flow, I'm just going to give you the data so that you can go about, you know, and that's going to be the end of it. I don't want to have a meaningless conversation full of emotions and what ifs and how dids and all of that shit. Like, you ask me this is the answer.
Move on.
Right. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me.
But why is it crazy to you?
Because I've known that technique since I was a child.
Right.
That's normal information for my brain.
Right. Did you learn it in a communication manner, or did you learn it in a manipulative manner?
I learned it by watching people manipulate other people.
Right. So,
But I was able to pick up on that as a single-digit child.
yeah.
So how is this not just normal information that everyone has? Because if I'm able to pick that up at 7 or 8 years old,
I guess it was the people you grew up around. If you grew up with people who were constantly talking over each other and couldn't get a word in for anything, arguments just ended that way, never resolved, you wouldn't know to actually just sit there and speak. You would just feel like you have to speak over the other person to get your point made.
yeah, it's wild. All right, let's see if we have any super chats to read. I think we saw at least one. Yep, from Nikki Lehman. You all showed me and taught me so much, learning such great traditional values as a young woman, building a great foundation with a wonderful man. Thank you. Can't chat long, but I will listen in. Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you.
Really appreciate that. Those things go a long way for us. It helps to continue to build the community that we have.
It does.
Mad Moose said, I will pause in conversation however it is done for me to process things and the others to give me a moment to respond so I know I still have the other person's attention and I'm not wasting my breath. That's exactly it. Amber Payne said, Laura Doyle suggests this too. We love her books. Really good books. Police type individuals learn that ask 1,200 questions and I tell you nothing. Police type individuals learn that. Ask 1,200 questions and I tell you nothing.
Oh, like you're arresting somebody and they're asking you a bunch of questions?
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't talk to cops anyways. You give them your ID card, say, there's all my information and I want my lawyer. I refuse to answer any questions.
Yeah. Are we doing an email?
I'm going to pull up her email because it was relevant to the conversation. That was the question that we had from Discord. Oh. Milk Racing has new 18-inch Supermoto wheels. In case you needed to know that, guys, because apparently I had to learn that information just now.
Of course you did. That's what you've been looking at.
Boom. You want me to put this over to you? It's only a paragraph and a half.
Yes. Okay. I have previously emailed about toxic family, but we have sort of worked through it via therapy. My fiance have an autistic child, and I am primary caregiver to him. My fiance works 3 days a week, third shift, has an hour drive to and from work. So third shift is like what? Midnight shift?
Third shift is normally like a 7 to 7. If he's only working 3 days, I would assume that it's 7 to 7,
So
like
12 hours.
overnight. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he probably gets a couple of days off and then has to repeat that. Those
Okay,
are
so
normally
like 14-hour days.
yeah. Well, with the
Including
drive
drive
time,
time,
yeah.
yeah.
That's normally like a 3 on, 2 off, 3 on, 3 off
Right.
kind of thing. But I mean, obviously that's irrelevant, I guess.
We constantly get into a cycle conversation about me needing more time to myself. We have tried to make it a scheduled thing, but it falls through. Part of me gets resentful because I feel like I'm drowning being in the house 24/7 with our kid, and all household stuff falls on me. Besides, he cooks dinner sometimes throughout the week. I have told him these feelings, and we try to come up with a plan, but it just never goes through.
I have to pause you. So let's have a conversation about sleep deprivation and how that affects our mental health.
Right.
We know studies have shown that people who work third shift for long durations of time die faster than people who work day shift.
Correct.
It throws off your biological clock or your nocturnal, whatever they
It's
call
the
it.
biological.
Right. So that already affects you. So if he's somebody that's working third shift, there's a very strong possibility that he's sleeping throughout the day, and the days off, his sleep schedule's erratic, and he's probably exhausted when he goes back to work. So in everything that's going on in your life, you need to keep that in mind because that is
Right.
very hard on someone's mental health. I just needed to touch on that before we continued reading.
No, I agree with that too. Okay. Then during the conversation, he says he doesn't feel heard because he's tired too. I say I get that, but I see his car time to and from work as a break. And when he stays up till 3 a.m. on the days he doesn't work playing video games, which I don't mind that, but to me, that's his time apart from it all.
All right, let's talk about drive time.
So my drive time accumulatively to and from work for one particular job was 2 hours there and 2 hours home. And
Did you ever feel rested from that drive?
No, driving to work after 30 minutes, I'm like, fuck this, I should quit my job.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever had a job where you were like, yeah, I love this drive?
No.
Right.
They were even compensating me for the drive. Like they were giving me $300 a month in gas money to get to and from. I mean, it didn't cover all of it, but that's what they were.
Right.
No, I hated it. Yeah, I got to listen to music, but after 2 weeks, my music got old.
Yeah. And so for somebody that's working, I just saw that we got a $50 super chat. I'm going to finish my thought and then I'll read the super chat. For somebody that is working that shift and having to do that hour drive to and from, if they're working the schedule that I laid out, it means that they're driving home during rush hour traffic after a 12-hour shift.
Yeah.
So you're already fucking tired and now you're dealing with traffic, which is a mental exhaustion and frustration. So That's also something to keep in mind when you are having these conversations.
Right.
Real quick, the super chat was from Alice Lovely for $49.99. Every time I try to talk to my boyfriend regarding a serious topic, he always just loses focus and changes the topic with something random. If he's scrolling on his phone or playing video games, I've brought it up, but he just keeps doing it. You are not getting his undivided attention.
Yeah, it sounds like he's unintrigued or disassociating.
So the way that you handle that situation is when you want to talk to them, you say, hey, I know that you are currently in the middle of your game. When you're in between matches, can you take your headset off for a minute and give me your undivided attention? Or can you put your phone down and look at me and like, I want your undivided attention for the conversation that we're about to have. So many people believe that they can multitask. Multitasking means that you're not giving 100% of your attention to anything. I think that we can do a lot of things at once, but we can't do them perfectly. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like, that's one of those things. If you're talking to me and I'm on my phone, you do not have my undivided attention.
Correct. Period.
Doesn't matter if I'm playing my game. Mm-hmm. There are times where you're talking to me and I realize that this is not a surface level conversation and I'm like, almost done. Just 2 seconds, right? And then I'll put my phone down and we'll have that conversation because...
But you'll also tell me, like,
right.
Hey, like, I recognize that this is becoming a serious conversation. Give me, like, 3 seconds so I can put my phone down.
Yeah. Alice, since you sent that super chat, if you are not in the Discord, please send us your email. Send us an email to tobebetterco@gmail.com so that we can add you to our Discord for the month of February. This will also allow you to catch some other live streams that are for Patreon content. And I would also like you to send me a more in-depth email so that Peaches and I can read that before your month of February is up.
Okay.
You can do it on a live stream.
Yeah.
We were talking about
video games,
car time, and then work, and then mentioned that he's up until 3 a.m. playing video games. What time does his day start on days that he doesn't work? That's a good question, right?
That is a good question. So he's working 3 days a week. Say he's getting home at 8 a.m. I imagine he's going to have at least 2 hours where he needs to unwind to get his brain shut off. Or if he's really exhausted, he's just going straight to bed. And depending on how tired he is, he might not be waking up until, I would say, between 4 and 7 o'clock p.m.
Have you ever worked a third shift like that?
No, I haven't. I've
Okay.
always worked early shifts. Like I'd had to be up by 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning.
There's a place locally called King's Plastic. Mm-hmm. And I worked there when I first moved to this area, and it's 100 to 140 degrees in there at all times. Yeah. It's like a fucking sauna. It's hot as shit because they're making plastic. And I worked 7 to 7, and on the days that I worked, I would literally sleep from the time I got home until the time I had to go to work. And when I worked the 3 days in a row and had the 3 days off, that first day was like a 15 to 16 hour sleep. I've never slept so good in my life than when I worked at that place because it was
the exertion.
Heat, right.
Yeah.
But if you would have tried to have had a conversation with me during that time frame, I'm useless. Like when I'm off of work, my brain is off, my body's recovering. Like it was a lot. So that's where my head is in all of this because I've worked that schedule and it sucks ass and it destroys your social life. It destroys time with your people, and it makes it very hard to get onto a day schedule, which is what normal people have when you are working nights, and that's where your sleep comes during the daytime.
Right.
So to be up until 3 o'clock in the morning playing video games, to him, 3 o'clock in the morning is like 5 o'clock in the afternoon for you. So that doesn't seem like a...
I was about to say that's normal for him. Plus, he would have to be staying up late in order to continue working that shift.
Right.
You can't work all night, sleep all day, and then on your days off, be up all day and sleep all night.
It's hard.
Right.
And we had a guy named Eduardo who used to work there when I worked there who would do that because he had kids. So the day that he had to work, he would start his day taking his kids to school, and he would stay up all day long and then work all night and then start his sleep pattern. I don't know how the fuck he did that shit.
I could not.
That dude was superhuman.
Yeah.
There's no way I could have done that.
A vast majority of people can't do that.
Right. She actually just answered and said that he works Saturday, Sunday, and Monday from 6 to 6. Home around 7, showers, etc., and then in bed by 8:30 in the morning. Wakes up every day that he works at 3 or 4. So yeah, I mean that's 6 to 6. You're still in that. I mean, depending on where you live, that's rush hour traffic. At least on the way in. I don't know about in the mornings, but
and that's still a 14-hour day with drive time.
Right.
The staying up until 3 a.m. Playing video games. I mean, there's really not much else he could do. He's not turning on all the lights in the house. I mean, hopefully. Or if he is and it's not bothering anybody, it is what it is. But it's not like he can really do anything else besides quietly play video games, if that's what he's
Right.
doing quietly.
And there's definitely a social disconnect there, even
Yeah.
playing video games, because all your friends, if you're playing at 3:00 in the morning, all your friends are in another country.
Right.
So,
Or it's other insomniacs.
yeah,
Back into the email.
please.
Then he sleeps till 12. I'm up all morning with our child, not able to go anywhere because I don't have my license.
Okay, so let's pause there. Why don't you have your license? Because that's a you problem.
Right. That is definitely a you problem. If you want your driver's license,
Get it?
get it. Yeah.
I could not fucking imagine not having my driver's license. I've had it since I was 16 years old. The freedom that comes with that little
Oh,
plastic
yeah.
card is huge.
Yep. So you said he sleeps until noon. So does he get up at noon and just not help at all around the house?
While we wait on the answer, she said, when do I get my time? It's got to be scheduled.
It does have to be scheduled.
This is, we had somebody earlier say that they were, it was on your TikTok live, was asking about living with their boyfriend's parents while having a baby and if it was a
Right.
bad thing, right? This is one of those times where this is just kind of where you're at in life. And though it might suck right now, you can start taking steps to move past this. Maybe he can ask to be switched to day shift. That would change a whole lot of things in your life.
It would.
However, it would only affect the change on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I guess. She said Saturday, Sunday, Monday was his schedule, so he doesn't work the other 4 days. There's got to be a way to make that work. If he's literally only working those 3 days, even if he slept all day on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, he would still be able to do dad stuff,
Yeah.
or just did it Wednesday, Thursday. So maybe that's what you schedule me time on Wednesday afternoons, knowing that he can get up at 10 and hang out with the kid and do the life thing, parent thing, while you go and do your nails or get your hair done or go walk around Hobby Lobby while drinking Starbucks, whatever it is that
Yeah.
you need to fulfill you.
Did
she answer? The house when he's up is what she said.
What?
On Tuesday, I let him sleep until 5 or 6 at night so he can start Wednesday with a fresh day. And I don't have my license because I didn't get them renewed. I have to redo my permit test. And then she said, no, we usually leave the house when he's up.
Why?
That is a good question. Why would
We
you?
leave the house when he's up, like all three of you go somewhere?
Oh, yeah, that would make more sense. I read that as it's 2 o'clock in the morning, he's playing video games and they left.
Yeah.
Been hitting that a lot.
My first goal, and I wouldn't even be worried about self-care time, I'd be focusing on getting my driver's license.
Yeah. There's
Okay.
yeah, because there's
Okay.
a fuck you line in here. I'm not about it.
When do I get my time? It's a cycle of me feeling overwhelmed or just exhausted. I feel resentful. I try to have a conversation about it. He says he doesn't get a break either. I tell him examples of the breaks he gets. He says that he doesn't see them as breaks. Because of all of that, I withdraw from intimacy and he's more upset.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say something. This is going to upset you. That's kind of fucked up to say. I can understand that those are your feelings. He's telling you that he is also not getting breaks, and the things that you seem as breaks are not breaks to him. If he's up until 3 o'clock in the morning playing video games because he literally has nothing else to do, he can't go out with you somewhere. When was the last time you guys went on a date together? Like, men want the same things that women want in relationships. And if there is no intimacy, it sounds like you guys are kind of roommates.
It sounds like a necessity.
Yeah.
Absolutely does.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
No, it's
The issue that I have with this is that neither one of them are actually hearing each other.
right. There's a massive disconnect.
Right.
And to withdraw from intimacy because he's upset that you're not hearing him, that he doesn't get a break, you guys are upset at the same thing right now.
Right.
Neither of you feel heard about not having breaks.
So what's happening in this scenario is she's coming to him with a problem that she's expecting him to empathize, validate, and correct. And instead, he's taking it as a personal thing because he's also not happy. He's also tired.
Right.
He doesn't have a real life because everything is done digitally because he works and is up all night long. Though I disagree, video games absolutely is a fucking break. If your kid is in bed and you get to play video games just because you can't sleep, that's not your wife's problem and it's not your kid's problem.
Right.
That is you could be reading an audiobook, you could be reading an actual book.
Well, what if he's depressed?
That's a him problem.
Right.
But that's a conversation that needs to be had. Like, I get that you're not getting a break, but I'm fucking miserable too. And then the conversation can lead into, okay, babe, well, why are you miserable? Because if we can figure out why you're miserable, maybe we can figure out why I need a break, right? Neither one of you are happy in this. And that's what the issue is.
Right.
And instead of listening to your partner say, I'm not happy, you're more worried about you and they are more worried about them. And there's a disconnect. Sometimes it's okay to be like, I'm not happy. And your person to be like, okay, well, what's wrong? Because it's not always about you. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you need to truly actively listen to what your person is saying and try to problem solve with them. Sometimes that means you have to be the bigger person when you don't want to be the bigger person and not be combative in the moment. And unfortunately, she's now aware of this and he's not. So when the conversation comes up again, she's going to have to be the bigger person, which is going to suck ass, especially if she's the one that's trying to communicate her fucking needs.
Why is that going to suck ass?
Because this is an ongoing conversation.
Right.
Right. So now she knows the step, but it's not just an easy fix. Because now a conversation still has to be had where he's going to throw shade and she's going to have to dial it back and fix his problem before she can come to him next time to have the conversation where he's going to actively listen. That's how I see this conversation going. So let's say she's like another 2 weeks from now, she's fucking burnt out and exhausted. Mm-hmm. He's depressed and going through what he's going through. And she goes in there and she's like, babe, I really need a break. Like, I need a day to just fucking decompress. I'm not happy right now, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you think I'm fucking happy? Work sucks. I don't have any friends. And he's going to play the victim card and try to turn it into about him. And she knows he's going to do this. So now she has to go, okay, you're right. Well, what can we do to fix that situation? Mm-hmm. She now has to cater to his needs so that the next time she comes to him with a problem, she can go, we problem solved yours. We're working on fixing that. I now need you to problem solve with me and help me fix my problem. That's the solution to that, because people who have that natural combative, make it about me conversation is never going to put themselves second, because it's a selfishness.
Right.
So it's just a shitty situation. It's you know what I mean? Because you know there's going to have to be at least one more argument before you can start to fix things.
Right.
That's where my brain went with all of that anyways. I don't know. Guys, we're not professionals. There's no PhDs or letters or anything behind our names. We are just two people with an opinion on the internet, and you asked for it.
Mm-hmm. That was it.
All right, closing this out. Sierra, I hope that answered your question. I hope that gave you some sort of something.
There's a lack of sympathy between the two of them.
I agree.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that? Because that's a big fucking deal, right? That's where change happens.
Right.
When you know your person's going through it and you want to actually make them not go through it. You can't make them, but you can find a way to support them and figure out what the problem is and start problem solving to fix it. And that comes from a place, you can even say that's a selfishness. You can, right? If you're having a bad day, I'm having a fucking bad day. So how do we fix this? Because I don't want to have a bad day. And even if you look at it from that standpoint, as long as the sympathy is there to try to fix it and you're aware of the actual problem, you can start fixing it. When you start butting heads and having the back and forth and arguing with each other, nothing's getting resolved. Best case scenario, you guys are going to argue for an hour, get super fucking pissed at each other, leave, and then come back and never finish the conversation because you're angry. And then it's going to happen again. And then what? We argued about this 6 months ago. You keep bringing up shit happened 3 years ago. Yeah, because it was never fucking resolved. Right? Like that's where that's going. Yeah. She said we are best friends, honestly. Well, it's good. Evelyn said, first time catching a live. Love you guys. Thank you for helping me in my marriage. God bless y'all. Love that. Let me see if there's a super. Nope, it was just the one I read. Nope, there was another one. It's Becky to you sent a super chat for $4.99 that said, my husband is deployed right now and had a rough day yesterday. How do I make him happy so far away? It hurts knowing that he's upset while away. How would you make me feel better if we were long distance? Other than sending me your booty, because that always makes my day.
That was the first thing I thought of.
It's like a big ass of sunshine.
Yeah, and I'd make them themed just to make it fun for you, just to make you smile. I would also like shower you with appreciation.
Yeah.
Let you know that you still matter.
That goes so far for men.
Yeah.
We don't experience that enough. I'm proud of you. Ladies, you want to see your husband like cry Most men in a true moment of I'm proud of you, it will break your husband in a way that you've never seen him broken. We don't
You have no reaction.
well, because you say it to me all the time. First time you said that shit, like it was bad.
Yeah.
I know that you're proud of me now. I'm not a broken man anymore, right? Like I know I'm dope as fuck. I hear it every day. Like I don't have that self-doubt, right?
Yeah.
But until you hit me with that I'm proud of you all the time and the gratitude that was there, I didn't have that before. Right? So there is a lot of self-doubt. Am I doing enough as a husband? Am I doing enough as a father? Am I doing enough as a provider? Does she truly trust me? Am I able to have a conversation with her? Like those are all things that men live with. And eventually we become a shell of a man because we don't have the answer to those questions, and eventually we stop trying to get them. So when you're forthcoming with I'm proud of you, hey, you did a really good fucking job today. Watching you play with the kids made my fucking heart skip a beat. Like I come around the corner on the quads with the kids and you're shit-eating grin from ear to ear, and like you're videoing us riding up and down the street on the bikes, and like I know that I'm fucking doing what I'm supposed to be doing in those moments. So even without you telling me, hey, I appreciate that or I'm proud of you, I fucking know it because of your actions. But I had to learn those new behaviors. So when you tell me you're proud of me now, I just thank you for it because it's still really good to hear. But I don't get emotional over it anymore because I hear it a lot. It's a win for me.
Yeah. I'm glad that's a win for you.
Jessica said virtual date. Go for a walk, take photos, videos of things that you think he'll like. My husband is a truck driver and I send him photos of cars asking what they are, etc. That is a great request for connection.
It is.
Especially if he's into cars, because now you're interacting on his hobby, his level. If we were long distance and you were going through it, I gotta be honest, I think the only thing that I would try to do is FaceTime you and to just to converse. Babe, I can tell that you're kind of going through it. Just talk to me. Like, that's what I'm here for. I'm supposed to be able to bear some of your weight right now. Let me have it. At the very least, you're going to get it off your chest. You know, I can't really do a whole lot, but I can listen. And if you don't want to talk about it, let's talk about something else. We can just sit here and stare at each other. I'll make weird faces at you or pick my nose. I don't know. Like, we'll do something. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? But that's a me thing. You know, I want to see you and talk to you, not just hear your voice. So I like that random date idea, going out places where you guys have gone to dates and take pictures and send it like, hey, remember our first date here? You could make a whole fucking video about that.
Yeah.
10, 15 minutes. Like, our first date was here. Our second date was here. This is where you kissed me for the first time. Like, that would be a fucking dope memory. That's a really good idea. It's kind of slick. Kind of slick. You want to do a regular email?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
My back hurts.
Sorry.
I'm so old.
Kelsey Brooks said, he said, I didn't overuse I'm proud of you, we're good. What did I just miss? I don't think I'm overusing I'm proud of you, but I don't know if that's what you think. And now I want to ask him. You can't. I don't think that's something you can overuse unless it's just a habitual thing. Like if he's cutting onions and you walk by and you're like, hey, I'm proud of you for cutting onions. Like that's obviously you're not. It's just you're grateful that he's doing something for you. I'm taking these things off.
We have dumpster fires.
Ooh, let's do one of those. Everybody loves some drama.
Your phone's cackling.
Is it? Are you sure it's mine?
Yes, you.
You're crazy. It's not me. I'm never the problem.
Oh man, my ankle is going through it.
We got an email from Alice from the
Okay.
$50 super chat. If you would like to read that one first.
How long are we going to be on here for?
Let's just real quick read hers.
Okay.
As the elaboration, do the dumpster fire, and then we can call it because we're an hour already.
Well, I don't have the email on here.
All right. I do, though.
Okay. Okay. I mentioned a bit regarding my boyfriend not giving me his undivided attention when I want to talk to him about something and him not staying on topic. The problem is that I have asked him, hey, I want your undivided attention on this, or babe, I really need this conversation to happen with you present.
Pause. Does this sound like a question to you?
No, that doesn't.
Okay. Yeah, it's not a question. It's a statement.
Yeah. And he will let me know when he will be done. If he's playing a video game, he will finish up his match and then start talking without letting me speak. Every time I speak, he interrupts me with off-topic things. And when I try to speak up, he gets really agitated and defensive when I calmly state my feelings. It just seems like no matter how many times I tell him I am not being heard and that I am not attacking him or trying to accuse him of anything, it just ends up with him being pissed and me being upset. Okay, so right off the bat, you said I have asked him, hey, I want your undivided attention on this, or babe, I really need this conversation to happen with you present. So as my husband and I both agreed, those aren't questions, those are statements. Mm-hmm. So your communication is already poor in this email.
Yeah, I agree. It's an understanding thing, though.
Right.
Okay.
So I will ask you, hey, do you have a minute?
Right.
And you will give me yes or no. And then I'll just let you know I'm venting. I need solutions. I'm starting to go with bitch sesh. I like those. And then I just cut to the chase. X, Y, and Z made me feel X, Y, and Z. I either need help processing this. I need an outside opinion. Am I overreacting?
What do you think of?
Right.
Yep. Do you have more? Were you about to continue?
No.
Okay. So with this whole, every time I speak, he interrupts me with off-topic things, it means that he's not listening to you, right? Or he's not invested in the conversation, or he just wants to talk. We know that the average person will listen for 17 seconds before jumping in because they want to talk more than listen. Mm-hmm. That's a problem for a lot of fucking people.
It is.
He gets defensive when I calmly state my feelings. If you're telling him you never listen to me, that's not you stating your feelings. That's you stating a fact in a way that can make him feel like he needs to defend himself.
Right.
Because you never is not a way to start any sentence to anybody because you're speaking indefinites and that's going to make them offensive. You always and you never. Don't ever use those phrases. That's not going to help you win your plight. I'm going to close this.
Okay. I want to add something real quick before you keep going because I'll forget.
You want to pull it back up?
No.
Okay.
Also, how are you approaching the conversations? If this is a conversation that doesn't sound serious because you're beating around the bush on things, he's not going to take it as serious as you are.
Right. It's true.
Yeah.
Right, because direct communication matters a lot to men.
Right.
That's actually a really good point. If you and I were having a conversation and like I'm trying to talk to you about finances and you're trying to talk to me about mushrooms while I'm doing it, I would jokingly look at you and be like,
noted.
Focus, right? I need you to focus. And I would make a joke about it, but it would be a way for me to just kind of snap you into like, hey, we're really trying to problem solve right now. I need you to be present. I think that a lot of this comes down to you two not being able to articulate what you actually need in a way that doesn't put the other person on their heels. Because you getting resentful and feeling like you're not ever being heard, and him feeling like you feel like you're never heard and he never listens, you guys are both kind of in a defensive posture ready to fight each other versus actually listening. This is the I versus you statements, right?
Yeah.
Darth Syndrin said, yes, get to the point. Makes combos go so much smoother. Men are very data-driven creatures. I saw tracks. I heard a noise. It's that way, right? Not, I think I heard something. Oh my God, I'm so scared. Oh my God, I'm on my period too, so I'm hormonal. Oh, I'm going to cry, but I think it's over there. Like, how does that help us kill that thing?
Right.
You know what I mean? So like our primitive brain just needs the details. So, all right, we got another super chat from Hunter. Let's pull his up. Hunter Mason, homework while watching Saturday Live equals a good day. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Kinsey said, when you've hurt your person and they're communicating, how do you not let your shame overwhelm you? Ooh, that's a fucking good question, and it's very well worded.
Do that. Read it again.
How about I move it to your screen and you read it? Because you like that kind of thing, right? Oh, that won't work. Don't want to do that. This button.
Okay. When you've hurt your person and they're communicating, how do you not let your shame overwhelm you? because it's not about you in that moment.
Right. It's okay to process that though.
Yeah. We have both done things that have inadvertently hurt the other person. And there is an overwhelming feeling of shame and guilt every time it happens because it's never done on purpose.
Right. But that's where the change comes from, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That is definitely where the change comes from because I don't want to make you feel that way and I don't like feeling the way I felt after making you feel that way.
Shame is where apologies matter, right? Because you're actually remorseful. Like you feel like shit in that moment. Those are the good apologies.
Right.
Like I can tell that I really fucked up and I'm sorry for that. I feel like shit. Good. I'm glad you feel like shit because I felt like shit because you did it, right?
Right. So I would recognize like in that moment, it's not about how you feel about hurting somebody. You need to hear you hurt them. Acknowledge it. Don't make excuses. When I apologize for something, I always acknowledge I'm sorry. Then I will give an explanation. This is not an excuse by any means. This is just where my headset was when I did my headset. Mind state.
Mindset. Head state. It all works, babe.
This is where I was mentally when I did X, Y, and Z. So now noted. Going forward, that's something I have to look out for.
Those are important conversations to have too. The amount of people who are like, well, you did this and because of that, I felt like this, so I did this, right? Well, when you did this, it made me feel like, well, I wouldn't have done that if you didn't do, you know what I mean? That is such a prevalent thing. And it becomes a back and forth about who's wrong.
Yeah.
Instead of a, damn, I'm sorry I made you feel that way. Like I didn't realize in the moment that my reaction, because it's definitely not a response, my reaction had such a negative impact on you. Now that I know that made you feel that way, I won't do that again. But I would also like you to understand why I reacted so poorly. Maybe this will help you understand my triggers. And then you can say why you felt that way or why you responded that way. Because then it's not a, well, you did this, fuck you. Well, no, you did that, fuck you. It's a, damn. Like I really didn't want you to feel that way.
Right.
And I'm sorry that I reacted the way that I did. That was definitely not the right way to react. But just so that I know that I don't want you to feel that way again. This might make me not feel that way again. And if we have this discussion, we can navigate this a little easier. Our conversations are going to get better.
Next email?
Sure.
Okay.
You look pretty good over there.
Oh, thank you. I did this for you.
I like the chains and the straight hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are we feeling about the red glasses?
I dig them. They're different.
Yeah.
They're a little bit bigger than your Versace glasses, and they don't have the thick frames like the pink and black ones. I think there's just a whole lot of different appearance going on over there today.
Yeah.
Yep. And I notice.
I'm glad you noticed. I'm thinking about going and getting a couple of more different frames. I like having different glasses to go with different vibes.
Outfits, yeah.
Yes.
It's the way to do it. Real quick before you get into that email, guys, there's 363 people. I'm not dyslexic. I just can't read. 363 people currently watching. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. Your name will pop up on the screen. It'll show it. If you are not a member of the Discord or Patreon community, if you send a $25 or more super chat, you will get the month of February for free, which will get you access to the live streams that we do for Patreon, Zoom readings, garden episodes, vlogs, and all of that other fun stuff. You'll also be able to binge watch all the previous content because it's posted in the Discord. So if you're going to send a super chat, we would recommend it being over $25. If you send more than one super chat to get that $25 mark, you can just send us an email and be like, hey, here are the screenshots that I sent. This is my email. Can you please add me to the Discord? And the Wizards will make that happen. Peaches is looking like a gorgeous vampire queen as always.
Oh, thank you.
You do have that porcelain skin shit going on over there.
Yeah, thanks. I was born with it.
Yep. Real quick before you get into that, Jessica Sharp sent a $10 super chat that said, thank you both for all you do. You really are helping people. My marriage, relationships, mental health, household, and confidence are all on the up. The work will never stop, and I love the work. That's fucking gangster.
That is dope.
I love seeing you guys progress. It's what this is all about for us. We have a dope life. We have a dope relationship. Like we've learned a lot from doing the podcast, but seeing other people change their situations and grow is where it's at for me. Love that shit. All right. Email, please, ma'am.
Okay. This one is titled Questions, Questions, So Many Questions.
Oh, I was going to say a third questions, but so many.
Hello, Chris and Peaches. I absolutely adore the podcast. I've been binge watching nonstop every day for the last month on YouTube. Just want to warn you, I am not the best at grammar, and I'm on my laptop with no spell check. I deeply apologize for spelling mistakes or run-on sentences. I will try to catch what I can. I want the most brutal honesty. Oh, fuck me.
Oh, no.
I want the most brutal honesty you two can give, please and thank you.
Oh, no. I wish you wouldn't have done that.
Don't hold back. Go for the emotional jugular.
Oh, God.
It's not a permission to be mean.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Because I'm really good at that.
Don't do it.
Okay.
It's a promotion. It is a...
If I could get promoted for being mean, game the fuck on, bro.
No,
I will practice it in the mirror.
It is permission to be honest, even if it hurts their feelings. That's not permission to be mean.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. My mother was a severe alcoholic growing up,
Mine too. Still is.
as well as unmedicated bipolar. During one of her fugue states, she ran off to Nevada for a month and a half with no warning, while us kids were at school, leaving my older sister, at the time 14, to care for us.
I have similar stories, just without the 14-year-old.
The only reason she was forced to come home was because she got into a car accident while drinking and driving, went through the windshield, and almost died.
Wow.
I was maybe 12 years old. When she finally came home, she was angry at the fact that we were trying to hug her and that her house was dirty. We never talked about it, and we would try to. She would get extremely angry and shut us down, saying things like, I know, I'm a horrible mother, I get it. This is the largest example of my mother's mental illness growing up.
There's also a manipulation tactic there.
Yeah, that is I did something wrong and now you're going to make me own accountability for the fact that I did something wrong. You just must think I'm the most terrible person in the fucking world. I stopped trusting people completely. Nobody was safe because at any time they could leave with no warning. It took me years to stop having nightmares about it. My foundation was completely destroyed. Question 1. How can I start moving past that and rebuild my foundation? I've tried to process it in therapy. Do you have any book recommendations? Well, if that is still who your mother is, I would block her. I'd go no contact.
I don't know if we have any books on our reading list for that.
I don't think so either.
Can you read the line one more time? Because there was something there and it left because of the book recommendation.
How can I start moving past that and rebuild my foundation? I've tried to process it in therapy.
I think it was a therapy thing. We got a $75 super chat, and I will read that, but I don't want to lose my thought because it's right there. Therapy is a place to go to give you tools to learn how to process the emotions that you're having, right? They can teach you to communicate. They are a mental tool store. They're the mental Home Depot, so to speak.
I thought of a book.
What? Which one?
Oh no, it's gone.
Right?
Fuck. It was the book that has like the white fence with the blue sky. Emotionally unintelligent parents.
Children.
Oh, it's on my Audible. Hang on. It's on my Audible.
All right. Well, while you read that, look that up. I'm going to go ahead and read the super chat from Benjamin. Benjamin said, started listening to you way back at the start and have made huge changes in our marriage. Life is great. 10 years in roommate mode, and I had no idea what I was missing. Big shout out to my wife. Her feminine energy and support are incredible. Thank you.
Shout out to that man's wife.
Yeah. Oh boy, came out of a 10-year roommate phase.
Good for you.
Benjamin Miller, if you are not a member of our Discord, please send us an email with your email address so the wizards can add you. That was one of the coolest things I've ever read. Read.
Yep. I found the book.
Okay.
Emotionally. It is Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents.
There you go.
By Lindsay C. Gibson. I'm assuming Psych D means she's a psychologist or she has her doctorate in psychology.
Yep. Yeah. The chat got to it. They knew what we were talking about.
Yes. Fantastic. Yeah, I would start with that book.
Yeah. Real quick, Jamie Smith said, if I send a $25 super chat, will that only add me for the month of February? Does it subscribe me for reoccurring monthly charges? It will just be for the month of February because we're going to bypass Patreon. Patreon doesn't actually allow us to give you guys free subscriptions, which is fucking stupid because it's ours. Like we
Right.
should be able to be like, here you go. Doesn't do that. But we can add you to Discord, which will give you access to everything that we post in Patreon because we post it to our Discord. So if you have access to our Discord, you have access to everything. And all of our backlink stuff is actually linked there in our episodes. So our wizards are very, very good over there. We love them very much. And the mods. Obviously, when we say the wizards, normally we just mean Zach and Jenny, but you guys are fucking killing it as mods over there. What I was going to say about the therapy thing is that the whole point of going to a therapist is so that you can actually feel and process your emotions, right? Sometimes just verbalizing it is enough. Sometimes you don't need to verbalize it. Sometimes you just need to hear that you're safe, right? Sometimes you need somebody to tell you that you're not a 12-year-old anymore and that all the horrible shit that your mom did to you is not now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's okay to breathe again. You're safe. Like, there's a whole lot of things that can be said in therapy that's going to help you with those things. But my advice in that situation is obviously read that book because there's a lot of good information in that book.
There is.
But my biggest thing in life and overcoming my childhood obstacles is to know that I'm not a child anymore. I'm responsible for my safety and I'm capable of my safety now. And I don't have to let people in and I don't have to let people hurt me because you are allowing people in your life that you know is going to hurt you to do so by letting them be there. So
The book is Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents.
Lorraine said that everyone on TikTok loves your straight hair.
Oh, thank you. Continue reading.
Please.
I have found an absolutely incredible man, a Marine. I know it's not important, but I love to brag about him. This man is the entire reason I started really overhauling and working on my trauma in my childhood. He makes me want to be the best possible woman I can be and be the perfect wife for him. I want to be his peace, but I feel like I have too much baggage. This man has the patience of a saint. I've caught him looking at me when he thinks I don't notice. Since I found your guys' podcast, our relationship has absolutely started thriving. We do check-ins. I'm still trying to figure out what important things to mention. Most of the time, I just motor mouth until he stops me. It's still really hard to be emotionally vulnerable, so normally I explain the emotions on the spot.
How, what do you mean? Wait.
Okay.
How do you explain, how does that make you not emotionally vulnerable? If you are processing your emotions in the minute and you can deep dive that even further and explain why you feel the way you do it, that's the fucking point of therapy.
That is it, yeah. Yeah.
Any of you listening, if you think that's a bad thing, you're wrong. Like, that is healthy as a motherfucker because you're able to identify what's really going on and you can talk about it. And if you've got somebody that's willing to just sit there and look at you and listen, I mean, that's a win. You're not paying for it. And you get to let it out.
There's definitely a time and place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying not at the dinner table?
No, like if we're out at a fancy dinner with 4 other couples and we're talking about business, I'm not going to just blurt my emotions or...
Yeah.
I will definitely let you know, like, if we're off to the side, I'll be like, hey, when we get home, we got to talk about this.
Yeah.
That's the move there.
Absolutely time and place.
Yeah. Question 2. How do you identify emotions when you grew up having them pushed down or called dramatic? I've even debated buying a children's feelings wheel. Would that help?
Yes.
Yes, it would.
I actually have one of those mentally saved in my brain.
Yeah. I have one downloaded on my phone.
Yeah.
Downloaded on my phone. I don't know what that was. I apologize, guys.
There's a lot of emotionally damaged people out there. And a lot of people who weren't taught how to process their shit.
A lot of people are stunted emotionally.
Yeah. So they go to the same 3 things: happy, sad, or angry.
Yeah.
And you can add depressed and, a couple other things in there, but most people don't understand, hey, I'm just overwhelmed right now, or I'm overstimulated. It's too fucking loud in here.
Right.
That makes me feel like an unsafe child again. Like, this happened and I obviously never worked through it. You know what I mean? Like, that children's wheel is not a bad idea. If it works for a child to learn how to do shit and you were never taught how to do it, that's a great way.
Yeah.
And if you have kids, when your kids are angry, why are you feeling that way right now?
Yeah.
You need to teach them how to work through that shit in the moment, because anger is a mask. It's never a deep feeling. It's surface level shit. I'm mad because I can't express my other shit right now. Rah. Why are you feeling that way?
Yeah.
Why did you feel the need to smash your crayons? What happened, bro? Like, talk to me.
I was going to say something and I forgot it. Oh, fuck. What did you say?
Process your emotions as like in the moment with your kids.
Nope.
The emotion chart in the brain.
No.
Anger's a mask.
Nope. Now I'm just going to give an example that I thought of. It's gone.
Yeah.
So the example is the other morning, we were cutting it close leaving for school, the kids and I. And we're in the car and we were like, get your shoes on, children. Like we should have left 5 minutes ago. And our son was like, my shoes are in the car. And I was like, word, like, good job on knowing where your shit is. And we get in the car and I'm putzing down the road and I turn around and I look at his feet and I'm like, where are your shoes? And he goes, oh, they're not in here. Oops. And I was like, that's it. I'm losing my mind. And like, I started raising my voice a little bit. And I was like, boy, it's been one thing after another. Where are your shoes at? Because now we don't know. And he was like, I don't know. I'll have to look. And I was like, no, just go in your room and grab your boots when we get home. And he's like, stop yelling at me. And I was like, I'm upset. And then he started yelling at me. And I was like, why are you yelling at me? He was like, because you're yelling at me. And I was like, okay, you're right. I was like, I'm sorry, son. And he was like, I'm sorry too. And I was like, go get your shoes. And he comes out and we threw them on. And when you get checked in the moment, just be like, damn, you right. Why am I yelling at you right now? This is unnecessary.
Yeah. There's an emotional maturity in that.
Yeah.
To not get defensive and fight over that, and to actually go, okay, wait a minute, maybe my behavior right now isn't the best.
Yep.
Yeah. Somebody asked if we can explain how to get into Patreon or to get into how do I find on and join Discord. So our Discord is through our Patreon community only. It is a paid service. However, with the super chats that we're doing today, if it's over $25, it'll get you the month of February into Discord, and then you just have to download the app and we'll add you to the server. Somebody said, can you help explain anger issues and if that's a gigantic mask for things or if it's a lot of unresolved things? It's both. Big anger can be unresolved things because otherwise you would never bring up shit that's happened in the past. You did this 6 months ago and it's still fucking happening or whatever. It could also be, I'm so fucking frustrated right now that I want to cry and I don't know what else to do other than get angry because I don't know how to process my emotions. So we go to anger first. You can be joyful or you can be happy. They're not the same thing, right?
Right.
You could be angry, you could be sad, you could be depressed. Those are all three different emotions. You could be elated, you could be overwhelmed. Like there's a whole lot of different ways to explain how you're feeling, and all of them are going to give you a slightly different outcome. You want to answer that one?
How do I handle the emotions of toddler girls when I have the typical guy way of dealing with emotions in general? I don't know. I'm not a man. It's very easy for me to sympathize with other emotions and, well, other people's emotions. And like when one of our children are going through it, I'm just, all right, now we're going through it together. We're going to get the feelings out, and now we're going to try to identify the emotions. Like, why are we feeling this way? What made you so upset? Toddler girls are really not going to be going through much different things outside of toddler boys. Like, they might be more emotional than a toddler boy, but like real world problem wise, they're worrying about maybe going potty, like using the restroom or getting the hand-eye coordination to feed themselves without making a mess and coloring and all of that stuff.
I have a really good answer for this.
Okay.
Because he said, how do I handle the emotions?
Right.
You handle the emotions by realizing that you are setting examples for your daughters of the way a man is supposed to conduct himself.
Correct.
So if you are unable to articulate what's going on, or you get frustrated easily, or you yell, all of those things are going to teach your daughters that that is acceptable behavior from a man. So don't do that. Remember in the moment that you are Jamie Smith. Make sure that you send us an email letting us know that you sent the $25 super chat and give us your Discord name so that we can add you to the Discord. So doing that in the moment, checking yourself in the moment is going to teach your daughters what it looks like to be around a healthy, emotionally mature person who can work through their problems in real time. It's going to make it so that they don't accept less than that because they know that it's possible for a man to do that.
Right.
We live in a time where most men are told to suck it the fuck up, shut up, and keep working. It's rare for a man to have emotional maturity. And if we can teach our daughters that it is possible for men to have emotional maturity, they're not going to date fuckboys.
Right.
Oh, Kyle got mad and punched a hole in the wall. Sorry, Kyle. I no longer feel safe with you because you can't regulate your emotions like a fucking adult and you're acting like a 5-year-old in your 30. Like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, there's a whole lot of red flags they're going to be seen real quick, and it's going to put women in a position to win. So we have to be that that pillar, that guiding light, the lighthouse in the darkness kind of thing.
You want to continue with the email?
Yes, ma'am.
Speaking of children, we had a surprise baby 1 year into our relationship. I didn't handle it well at all. I was afraid of turning out like my mother. I started acting like a real see you next Tuesday.
Focus, woman. It was just an ear kiss.
That was so much more than that. Holy shit. Okay. They had a baby. I didn't handle it well at all. I was afraid of turning out like my mother. I started acting like a real see you next Tuesday to my partner. He ended up cheating on me because of me raging 24/7 for 3 months straight. But it turned out to be exactly what I needed to wake up. It made me realize that I was the problem.
Okay, can we, I would really like to discuss that.
Okay.
There are so many people right now who are currently typing, there's no reason for anyone to cheat. It wasn't your fault, right?
Right.
Like anybody that's listening to this after the fact, they're going to be in the comment section saying shit like that. That's the conversation that we have all the time about taking the accountability for the things that you were responsible for and not taking the blame. She did take the blame. She said it was my fault.
Yep.
Which I disagree with. His actions were his.
Right.
But the inward accountability of realizing that you probably pushed him further than he would have otherwise went is fucking good. Okay. I couldn't let you just run by that one.
Okay. During all of this, I found your podcast. I was looking up cheating videos to better understand why he did it, so we could talk about it. I ended up binge watching your videos for a week. Either episode enter episode 30.5.
Sorry about that episode, guys.
That's a rough one.
Yeah, episode 210 is not going to be very good either.
210.
Yeah, the one we just recorded. I had to cut like 45 minutes of that.
I understand. I was listening to it with my partner. He started crying and said, "Sweetheart, that's you. That's how you treated me during your pregnancy." I re-listened to that video over and over and over again and realized he was right. Oh, I'm going to be honest. I don't remember the email from 30.5.
I don't either. I remember that email pissed me off. That was the final straw in us not reading trauma dumps.
Yeah.
That was a hard one for me. Like
all I remember is the child neglect in that.
The bathtub.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Yep.
Question 3. How do you acknowledge trauma without allowing it to consume you? How do you escape that mindset in the moment of why does everything bad happen to me? And get out of that fight headspace.
Things don't happen to you.
Right.
Things happen.
Right.
You may be involved in them or may not be involved in them, but nothing happens to you. That's how you realize that. Life happens.
Yeah. People's actions are a reflection on them and their miseries in life. If there was a traumatic fallout that you experienced because of that, it is really important to recognize that you were just an innocent seaweed trapped in the cyclone, hurricane, water tornado. What's an underwater cyclone?
Underwater, a whirlpool.
Yeah,
I guess that would be in the
yeah,
water.
like that.
Current, a riptide.
Yeah, kind of something. Something very traumatic to seaweed because the seaweed doesn't have an option. That's more for children. Children being experienced. Well, there are a lot of just in general then.
Yeah.
There's a very long thought process. I'll stop speaking. You want to read something?
Well, I just, we're getting super chats, and I just wanted to remind everyone that we don't read all the super chats right away. Normally we'll let them bunch up, and then we'll read a couple of them. So $50 super chats always get interrupted. For those of you who are sending super chats to get to $25 to get to Discord, make sure that you email your name. I just wanted to say that because there are people asking why we didn't read their super chats. We will do it after this email. Just be patient, guys.
That was it.
Oh, that was the email?
That's it.
Okay. Well, then we'll read the super chats.
All right.
Let's see if Danish is on top of that. I know that she had storm stuff going on. Jamie Smith. Okay, that was to get to the super chat. Kimberly Wellender for $20 said, I have had a pretty bad past. I've been so used to being on the streets, but now I have a job, an amazing boyfriend, and his family is letting me live with them until I can get on my feet. How can I make this my new normal? I hate the term new normal.
Yeah.
Because life is going to forever evolve and nothing will ever be the way that it was. Why would you want living with your boyfriend's parents to be the new normal?
Yeah, I would aspire to have my own place soon.
Right.
Or as soon as possible.
Right. It sounds to me like you've already got a whole lot of leveling up happening and you just need to continue on your current trajectory because pretty soon your boyfriend and you will have your own place. And then maybe after that, your boyfriend and you will be husband and wife, right? Like you guys are doing the life thing and a good forward momentum. You want to be careful to not sabotage what you have and lose it. And that's what I would be more focused on. As somebody who has also been homeless and started from absolutely nothing to be where I am now, there's also a safety in that. Because I know that I have started over in life numerous times and I've always got back to where I was because I have experience. I've had those really horrible situations and I've existed and I've made it through it. Would I want to do it again? Absolutely fucking not, but I know I could. And that goes a long way. D said, how does one not be such a bitch over rejection outside of just sucking it up? Well, internal reflection's a good place to start. Figure out why you were rejected. Were you rejected because of your behavior? Was it your hygiene? Was it your inability to have a communication? Was it because your finances aren't up to her standards? Like the reason that you're rejected matters almost as much as the way you deal with it.
Right.
I don't think that sucking it up is ever really the answer.
I agree.
I think that it comes more down to self-awareness. If somebody told me no, I'm not going to look at that as a failure or a rejection. I'm going to look at it as this isn't meant for me right now. Why not? What can I do to improve that? Because even if I try again and there is actually rejection there and they're just not interested, you are going to level yourself and that self-reflection so that when you find somebody that sees your value, you're going to be a better person than you are right now. Yep. You want to read that one?
From Braden Johnson. I'm not sure if I'm doing this right, but I really want to say y'all are such good role models for me. Listening to your husband helps me to be a better man.
Oh, thank you for that.
That's dope to hear.
It's wild to me, right? Because I think this is an ego thing, and I know it's my ego, but I feel like I'm able to mentor the masses, right? And it does something for me knowing that people are listening to my words and actually changing who they are for the better. I think that's super fucking crazy.
He sent another super chat to get the $25.
He did.
Yeah.
Braden, make sure that you send us an email with your screenshots and your Discord name.
From Tara, y'all are great role models for couples. My fiance and I have grown so much when I found y'all in April. That's when I learned I was the main problem. Thank you for doing the work and sharing your perspective. Y'all are awesome.
That's gangster.
Thank you for the super chat.
You guys are going to realize at some point in your life that you are not responsible for the actions of others no matter what. Even your children, right? Like you are responsible for making them good human beings. But if they go out and start a fire in the woods and it burns down an entire city, that's not a you problem.
Right.
Could you have directed your children in a better way? Probably. But ultimately, decisions that they make are their own. If they get mad and kick the coffee table in its glass and break the coffee table, you could have done more as a parent to teach them emotional regulation. But in that moment, that decision to kick is theirs. Mm-hmm. The idea that other people are somehow going to just do what you want them to do is crazy to me. Are your podcasts only on platforms? No, our podcast, well, technically, yes.
Yeah, I don't understand what the question is.
Because of the way you word that, the answer is yes. It is on platforms. Apple, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon. It's on all streaming platforms. Mm-hmm. And then all of our full-length content is on YouTube and Rumble for those of you who don't like YouTube. Caitlin said, going to talk to the hubs about an annual sub to you guys with taxes that got filed this week. We both would benefit from the connection. Would love to see you both in there. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow night, we are going to have a special guest on our live stream. Meg Talks, which is formerly known as Recover Your Power on TikTok, will be here. We're going to read emails, and then we have Zoom calls tomorrow night for Patreon. So for those of you who are not a member of our Patreon that would like to actually see us do the live reads, we read the email with the people on a Zoom call so that we can interact with them in real time and ask them questions and try to problem solve. I've had a couple of really good conversations like that. Mm-hmm. Do you have anything that you would like to add on to this?
No, I don't.
Would you like to wrap it up and go home and get some couch time before we go to dinner tonight?
Yes.
All right. Super chat. Tara said, love the vibe y'all have. I always feel more mindful when listening. Thank you. That's the goal, right? It's to get you guys to think. One more question just because I'm going to, and then we're going to, wait, what did it say? When will the live with Meg be on YouTube? Tomorrow night at 6, Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Jasmine became a member for 1 month. Thank you for both being here today. My husband and I had a hard night, and I really needed this. Listening to you both really brings me back to earth in a sense.
That's dope.
The thing that I wanted to read was, what do you guys think about all the labels that float around TikTok? Rejection, sensitive, executive, dysfunction, etc. I think they're buzzwords. I think that every time somebody anytime somebody learns a new buzzword, it's their flavor of the day. Mm-hmm. This is Baskin Robbins. Today, my word is narcissist. Tomorrow, it'll be stonewalling. And we're going to add all these labels and all these fucking words that you don't really understand, but you heard somebody else say it with a vague explanation and you related to it. So you're going to regurgitate that shit. I think that you guys need to do a whole lot more research before start using those labels. That's my opinion. I fucking hate all of them. Buzzwords are stupid. It's my opinion. Yeah. With that being said, guys, thank you for joining us on a Saturday. We will probably do this again next week.
Exciting.
And we will see you guys on the next one.
Bye, guys.
Guys, if you're still here, don't leave. Hang on. We got a super chat last minute, and I don't want to not read it. Yep. Joe Boxer Gaming for $20 said, had to pull over crying. I wanted to thank y'all for making me understand how to be a better man, father for my son, and the people around me. Thank you for helping me find the new me.
Good for you.
I fucking love that. Joe, thank you for sending that. I'm sorry that you're crying in the car. But I'm glad.
Support you.
Yeah, dude, I'm here for it. I am fucking here for it. So.
All right.
See you guys on the next one.
Bye, guys.